Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. I have an interesting thought that came to mind. Choices we make. And the reason I'm saying that, and especially when it comes to politics, and you think about the way politics is playing itself out on a local level and on a national level, that, we make choices to get involved. We make choices about what we say, realizing that some of the things that we say may ruffle some feathers, they may cause some controversy, but in fact they need to be said. Well, this person sitting here with me is a frequent guest here for precisely that reason. We always know he's passionate and he feels about certain issues and is ready to speak about it. And that's Mark Westcott, who I think is officially a political consultant. Oh, man.
Thanks,
that sounds
Jesse.
fancy, Mark.
It's not as fancy as you may think.
Okay, it does sound pretty fancy, though. We follow Mark, and Mark and I talk a lot as well. I talk to a lot of people in politics in the Tri-North counties. But every once in a while, something will come up. Things that you and I have talked about in the past would be like the airport situation, right? Whatever. Something has come up with the Watershed Conference and the Watershed Coalition, and we're actually the story's forming really even as we speak about
That's right.
it.
Yeah.
Right. But I thought it would be important to have Mark on because recently he sent out a newsletter that was really outlining a couple of issues, very, very key issues about the coalition, about the expenditures for the coalition, and I want to get this dialogue going. I want anybody who wants to participate in this dialogue to be invited, and we can do that. So let's go back. The conference was formed, the Watershed Conference was formed during the Pataki administration, right?
That's correct.
Pataki, known to be an environmentalist and very concerned about the health of Lake George.
That's right. Governor Pataki formed what was called the Lake George Watershed Conference in 2001. And various stakeholders that had an interest in preserving and protecting the health of Lake George came together from the state, local officials, associations, agencies, and they wrote a really great report. It covered things like stormwater, wastewater, invasive species, mitigation of wetlands, those sorts of very important issues.
Right. Human interaction as well.
Human interaction as well, exactly.
Right. Now, the stakeholder counties would be, they'd be Queensbury, right?
Well, the municipalities that primarily are impacted are the ones on the lake, and that includes Queensbury, Lake George, and Bolton Landing, for example.
Right.
Those are the big three.
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. The coalition was formed from that conference. Coalition, as you said, had a number of different stakeholders involved in it in these municipalities, all contributing to ideas and thoughts and programs that they wanted to have initiated to protect the lake on all of the different aspects that you mentioned.
That's right.
Right, okay. So fast forward. That requires grant requests, that requires hiring subcontractors, that requires a lot of process, right?
That's correct. And they hired a director to obtain and administer those grants by the name of Dave Decker. And Dave's a former DEC employee. And in March of 2016, Mike Swan, the Warren County Treasurer, brought to light in a meeting that there were hundreds of thousands of these grants that were obtained and administered on behalf of Warren County, but the money hadn't come in. So he was questioning, what's holding these payments up that were going back to 2007. And what that did was it piqued the interest of a community watchdog by the name of Travis Whitehead, who decided to do research and investigate this. He concluded that there were issues, and he turned his material over to the Sheriff's Department, and that led to ultimately an investigation and an arrest of Dave Decker on fraud charges.
Right, now that, as you can see, this is a pretty serious charge, being arrested for fraud. That would indicate, and again, innocent until proven guilty, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But that would indicate, well, there are some discrepancies there. One thing you should know about grant writing and the way the money works is that You know, you submit a grant, submit RFPs, whatever, you get the money or the promise of the money. But in the meantime, the taxpayers are footing the bill until those checks come in.
Right, and that was
Correct?
a concern that Mike Swan, the treasurer, had. Hundreds of thousands of dollars had been footed by the Warren County taxpayer with the understanding that they would be reimbursed. And that money hasn't come in.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to cut this interview short, so I'm going to ask you to come back for a part 2 on this, which means that we're going to take a breather for 5 minutes, drink a glass of water, and do part 2. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, Mark, for coming in.
All right, Jesse.
And I'll be back in a few minutes.
Always a pleasure.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.
Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Exceptional products, expert design, experienced professionals. An American Buildings Company authorized builder can turn your dream of a new building into a reality. Because ABC Builders are local contractors, they know your market and can handle your project from beginning to end. So if you're ready today, your ABC Builder is building tomorrow.
Call Munter Enterprises, 518-584-6174.